Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Oak Garter, Nikolai Sinaga, Cody Sims, Urquan Overlord, Matthias, Aaron, Thomas. Wait, hold on, it scrolled up. Thomas Glatwell. How you guys doing? I love your content, helps me out as a DM. Nice. Always nice to hear. Katie, hey. Yutubs High Priest. What's up? Hey Pelly. Bezer dude. Today should be pretty fun. I'm gonna be creating some monsters. I can't wait. I've been prepping myself a little bit. There is this entire section on the Dungeon Master's Guide for monster creation that I've never, like, whenever I DM and I need a monster, I typically I'll just grab like a monster that already exists and then just give it what I need. I feel like that's probably what most people do. But I went back and I think they have like 4 or almost 5 pages just for monster creation. And I never noticed they have this chart. Like, I would always just read through it without actually paying attention, but they have a thing where if you have a monster and you want to make it undead, they actually tell you what, like, how to change the monster in stats so as to resemble what an undead would look like. So they tell you, like, okay, subtract 6 intelligence, I think it's 4 charisma, 4 wisdom, I think it was a +1 to strength and a +2 to constitution. And then of course the normal, just like you don't need to eat or sleep or whatever, but like the stats, I never knew that was there. It's kind of nice. They do that for a lot of races. They have that for like all of the, like the elves and the dwarves and some monsters, like I think they have that for, I don't think they have that for just normal, like, subtypes of monsters. Like, I don't think that you could just see what, let me check actually, because I was really impressed. The Dungeon Master's Guide has just so much stuff that is hidden. It's just there. There's so much information on the book. I feel like it's one of those secret magical tomes from D&D that, like, it always gives you something new and different whenever you read it. Okay, they have like weird classes. They have like, or races. They have Grimlocks. Because some of these make sense. Like, I would imagine that a lot of people would make orcs. I don't know, goblins, gnolls, I suppose, drow. But Grimlock? They tell you like what to do if you want to make a Grimlock monster. It just seems very random to me. Skeleton. So if you want to turn a monster into a skeleton, you give it +2 to dexterity, -4 to intelligence, and -4 to charisma. That's cool. Though I would have always assumed that at least for a zombie, that they would get a lot more constitution, because I feel like the difference between an ogre and an ogre zombie on the monster manual is way more than just, like, the HP difference is way more than just 2 constitution. I can actually check. It's just way too much difference. So a normal ogre has 59 hit points. That is with 16 in constitution. Okay, 59. Ogre zombie. Fetch me ogre zombie. Actually, I won't do it. Ogre zombie has 85. That's, feels like way more. It does have 18 constitution, so the math checks out there. It has 9 hit die. So that is, I mean, that would just be an extra 90 HP, right? Like, it doesn't, I don't know, doesn't make any sense there. Bezer dude with the Kroner. What would it look like if a player character? I'm not sure I understand the question. What would it look like if a player character EQ? What is EQ? Ninja's backhand. Hey Rex, love your content. You ignite that D&D fire in my belly. I'm 40 years old, so there's nothing beyond second edition for me. it's I would imagine it would be hard to move on from second edition. Second edition is great. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta fetch something. I'll be right back. Then we can start. Okay, getting ready here. We don't have enough slimes. We can work out the slimes. All right. So, hello everybody. How you guys doing? Oh, equipped crown. I'm assuming, Bezor, that your super chat was cut out. Yeah, so, you know, D&D is not very giving with information pertaining to what happens if someone turns into a demon lord. There's actually an adventure. I don't think many people know this. There is the very last adventure for Adventures League for the Descent into Avernus season had you actually kill a demon lord. I think you killed Jinogu. And they have this whole thing about you taking the heart of the demon lord and eating it to turn into Jinogu, or, you know, the next incarnation of Jinogu or something along those lines. I don't remember if they tell you what changes to your stats, but I mean, I don't know. I would assume that it would have to be like enormous, like the difference. But I don't know. Oh yeah, so we're gonna wait a little bit, maybe like another 8 minutes or so before we fully start, just to let people come in. But I've been doing a little bit of reading. Let me see if I can show you guys some of the other stuff. So this is the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's very useful. You of course don't need any of this if you want to create monsters. This is really just to help you out. The biggest thing that they do, which is really useful, is kind of just measure out how much HP a monster should have for the amount of damage that it does. And then I don't know, they give you like spell DCs for the CR, but it's a lot of this is kind of just tied up to CR, which you might or might not care about. I know that there's a lot of people that don't particularly use it, but if you do use it, then of course this is like amazing. But even if you don't, it's just good to know how much damage your monster should be doing for the amount of HP that you feel like you want to give it, which is useful when especially when you're late in an adventure and you want to create a boss, because you typically have an idea of how much damage your players do, because they've been doing damage the entire adventure, so you kind of gauge more or less what a monster can take. And so what I do a lot is I will just think like, all right, well, if I want this boss to survive, he will need at least 400 HP, right? And then with that knowledge, you can kind of just figure out more or less how much damage you should be doing, and then base your calculations on that. Attacks, abilities, spells, whatever. So it's a good way of doing it. But like all of this is just for CR's purposes. So like if your monster has a armor class of 20, then if you want to give it 23, then how much would that increase in CR, basically? I may or may not have a spreadsheet for my players' damage output. I used to play with a group of people that, and it was really cool. It was one guy, but he would write down every single hit that anyone did in every single combat. So he had this really cool pie chart, kind of detailing what every character did in the adventure. So like O'Brien, he has done over 200 points of damage in the adventure, or like, I don't know, 20 points of damage per battle or something. And you could like compare each other, which was really cool, just to see like just the difference in DPS. I'll explain GG Jester in just about like 5 minutes. I'll explain what we're doing here today. Yeah, you can see here the zombie stats. I don't know, like it feels like it's not commensurate to what the DMG tells you, but it's all good. You can kind of just, you know, do whatever you want when you're creating monsters anyway, so. Start with bones. Oh man, I'm really excited about this. It's so I guess I should just start by explaining what's going on. So we have been selected by, I guess we, I mean me, I've been selected to make monsters for a monster grimoire. So I have a book here. This is Grimoire by Ghostfire Gaming. They make this, and I did some work with them a while back, and I fell in love with the book. So what the book has, which is really interesting, is oh, I kind of messed things up here. So they have a transformation system, which quite literally like blew my mind. It was the reason why I fell in love with the book in the first place. So let me see if I can get it for you guys. But basically, Dungeons and Dragons had never had really like a good way to transition a player character into something maybe more akin to a monster. So if you were, for example, bitten by a werewolf, that transformation that turned the player into a werewolf, like we just never had that. Same thing with like vampirism, same thing with like geez, we literally were just talking about it. Like what happens if you were to slay Demogorgon, put on the crown, and then turn into a demon lord, right? So what would happen? Like D&D doesn't have that. They don't have a system for that, other than literally just de-leveling you or over-leveling you with class levels. Let me see if I can find it. So in here, they had an entire section. So that's a guy turning into a, I think it's an aberration, and then like some stats in there. So basically, they developed this entire system for transformations, and they had that for liches, they had that for werewolves, vampires, they had one for angels too, aberrations. I think they had one for, I don't know if they had one for devils. Maybe they did. Like if you signed like a devil contract and you like turned into a devil. And I fell in love with it. Cole McLean, when's your video on human lore? Dude, I gotta do that. That would be a hard video to make, because that would be very long. So I fell in love with the video, with the book, and I kind of just got more and more in contact with them. We started doing some work, you know, like sponsorships and stuff like that, and we kind of went back and forth. They released another book, or rather they had a second Kickstarter, because I believe this first book was a Kickstarter. They did another one, which was a player's guide. Because this is a campaign setting, so they talk about like the world of Grim Hollow, all of the cities, the history of the world, and kind of just how a grim dark setting is supposed to work. Then they did a player's guide, which was all about customizing characters, subclasses, and all that stuff. And the Kickstarter was really successful. I believe they're still printing the books. I don't think they're fully out yet. Himko, any plans on making something based on either centaurs or a benevolent orc clan or good aligned necromancers? Those all sound pretty good. I definitely want to do centaurs. I don't know if I'm going to touch orcs for a while, because I already did those. Necromancers, maybe I would do magic. Like, I would probably do necromancy rather than necromancers. But centaur is definitely on the docket. And anyway, so like they did those books, and now they're doing a monster grimoire. So they're literally creating a monster manual for grimdark monsters. So those are basically just like the Witcher style monsters, Curse of Strahd style monsters. Like they're supposed to be dark. They're supposed to be menacing, like very dangerous. This is not like a happy world. Basically, this is like the Witcher world where everything is just sucky. You go out there and you basically die. It's kind of like the feel. And they're creating a monster manual with that. And what I like about their particular idea for the monster manual is that they're adding salvage for the monster, which basically means every single entry in their monster manual is going to have loot for the monster. So they'll tell you what about the monster is worth it or worthwhile to take. So if it's like a humanoid creature, I would imagine they would have like monetary stuff, but for monsters they will tell you like how much money you could sell I don't know, the saliva of their beholder or the claws of their dragon, right? Things like that. They also have sort of like arcana or history checks for the monsters. So if you like present them with a monster, you can do they tell you what are the DCs for the history checks that your players need to make to know more about the monster. And if they make the check, they literally write down for you what to give them, which is something that 4th edition used to do, but they stopped doing for 5th edition. But anyways, they invited me over to make some monsters. It's basically the gist of that entire story. They invited me to make a few monsters. I asked them if I could get you guys involved, if I could basically just like do a stream just to like, so that we could all do it together, because I mean, making monsters is fun. I love the idea of just having my monsters be represented in an actual like tangible book, but also with professionally made art. It's that sounded amazing. But I figured, I don't know, I would get you guys involved, make it into a whole stream, and then just kind of do it together, and that would be like a lot better. So that's basically why we're here. So they were more than happy to sponsor the stream. So the stream is sponsored, as you can tell, by Ghostfire Gaming, who make the Grim Hollow stuff. The Kickstarter is in the description, so you can go ahead and check it. It's doing really good. I believe they put me on the I was the 400,000 milestone goal, which they destroyed really fast. Necromantic centaurs for Grimoire. That would be, I'll write that down. Hold on. I'm gonna have like a little notepad for all of these ideas. Necromantic undead centaurs. Well, I'll make them undead just because that sounds better. There you go. And so basically, yeah, we're gonna be making some monsters. So I had a small chat with the guy who's like involved with just making sure that everything is on track with who's doing what and what type of monsters are being made. And he basically told me that we have no limits to what the CR of the monster is going to be. So if we wanted to, we could create a CR30 Mega Colossus. I don't know if that's what I want to do, but I'm just telling you guys, like, we literally can run the docket on this one. We can do whatever we want. I have not been told what other people have made, so it's possible. It's possible that we will create something that maybe has already been created, and if so, I don't know if I would have to change something later on, but we don't have to worry about that now. CR30, thumbs up, dude. Yeah, it's already on 700,000. They're doing really good on that Kickstarter. Like I'm impressed. They people like Grim Hollow. It's great. I I don't use their campaign settings specifically. Like I don't play my games in the Grim Hollow campaign setting, but their player like systems that they have in there are amazing. The transformations are incredible. They have a lot of subclasses, and everyone loves dark monsters. So you know, like, can't really go wrong. So, anyways, we're gonna start. I have a few ideas for monsters that I'm not going to use for the stream. I'm making some kind of just on the side, things that I've been kind of just thinking about for a while. Let's see. So this website here is Home Brewery. At least that's... I've had this website for a while. I actually like it for homebrewing stuff. I'm sure that if you guys homebrew D&D, that you probably know of this website. It feels to me like it would be one of the biggest websites for homebrewing. But basically, it allows you to use you create D&D like similar entries, and you can do that for almost anything, I believe. So you can do spells. Let me actually see if I can. Can I create like a new? As you can see, I don't do homebrewing a lot. If I just click this, no, I think I broke it. Home brewery. Okay, create your own. Awesome. No, it saves what I did before. Damn it. I was hoping to just delete everything. How do I delete everything? Tables. Editor. New page. Beautiful. Oh, it just saves. It just saves everything. It's fine. It's whatever. So we can do spells. I would imagine they would look like this is a mess, dude. Because I have a lot of code put together. But yeah, we could do spells, we could do class features for like if you want to create a subclass, add in little notes like they do on the monster guide, on the monster manual, or Dungeon Master's guide. Everything. You can do everything here. Class tables. Okay. It's all good. How do I delete things? You would imagine it would be here under the editor. Just select all of it and delete. Oh, I guess I could do that. Alright, well that works. Yeah, that's why I need you guys. I desperately needed you guys to help me do this, so there it is. That's how a spell would look like. That's cool. Okay, so we'll create a monster. Monster step. We can make like a big monster too, but we'll start with something small. Okay, so I asked you guys on the channel, and I had a bunch of different polls basically running. One was a straw poll that I gave you guys on my last video, the Demogorgon Part 2 video, and then I made another poll on the chat, on the like post, the YouTube post, whatever. And everyone wants me to make a plant, so we will be creating a plant monster. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the post to see exactly how disparate it was, but the vast majority of people wanted me to create a plant succubus specifically. It's what it was. So that is hilarious. Let's see. So hopefully by today we can make 3 or 4 monsters. My goal is 3. If we can make 4, that would be great. But my first poll, I basically just asked you guys just any type of monster. What would you like to see? And the top voted option was plant. Second was elemental. And then third was like a new kind of devil or demon. And then I went further to ask about what kind of plant you guys would want to see. And you guys voted like universe. It was overwhelming. You guys want to see a plant succubus, so we'll do something like that. I suppose that we definitely have to steer as far away from the dryad as possible, because they kind of like have a little bit of a niche on that group, but I'm sure that we can figure something cool out. The next option was a vampiric plant, which we can certainly do, and then a psychic plant. So hopefully we can create at least like 2 or 3 different kinds of plants using those options. So let's begin. So, plant succubus. Let's see. Hey, Pearl, thank you for the super chat. No notification for this. Soulnum, what about liches that gain immortality outside of necromancy? Like an abjuration wizard that literally changes soul. I mean, dude, the Grim Hollow players, no players guide, the campaign setting literally has that. Like, it doesn't matter how you gained your lichdom. It kind of just explains the steps that would happen to you as you transform into a lich. And the cool thing about it too is that it's not, because like the problem with Curse of Strahd, I'm gonna go on a tangent here just for a second, but the problem with like werewolf transformations is that, all right, boom, you're a werewolf. You're immune to slashing and bludgeoning and piercing. Like, that's broken, right? Like, you from the get-go are broken, especially because you're going to be fighting werewolves at the beginning of an adventure. So that's when you're going to be transforming into a werewolf. But the abilities that a werewolf gives you makes you basically invincible at the beginning of an adventure, right? That's the problem. The transformations from Grim Hollow, they have like level ups. So you start at stage 1, and stage 1 is supposed to like last until like level 5. Then stage 2 lasts until like level 10, and so on and so forth. And there's 4 stages. Okay, let's do this. Focus. I gotta focus. Let's monster stat. Gelatinous mouse. Okay, so let's see. A plant succubus. What do we do with a plant succubus? So a dryad, which is kind of just like the baseline for something like this, and we need to find a way to steer clear of the dryads. So dryads are, they're supposed to be kind of just like cute in the way that they go about stealing men. So I did a video on dryads, and they literally like steal cute men that just walk into the forest. And when men typically go missing in the forest, like people typically assume that it is a dryad, and then the dryad will basically just charm the man and for years, and it'll be like the boy toy of the dryad for years and years and years, while the man basically just believes that he has found true love, but he's obviously being charmed. And they kind of do it in a very kind of cutesy, like tee-hee kind of manner, even though it is kind of fucked up. Dryad, daughter of a succubus or an incubus? An incubus. Oh, an incubus and a dryad. That would be an interesting combination. So combining those two, because the thing is, like, in the lore they also talk about the satyrs and how the satyrs go with the dryads all the time, but you cannot have a male dryad and you cannot have a female satyr. So when they do their business, if it's male, it's a satyr. If it's female, it's a dryad. So maybe we could play with something like that. So if it's like a female, it is a dryad, demon, baby. If it's male, that would be interesting, because we could create a bunch of stat blocks, just like figure out, have like the male version and the female version of a demonic dryad. That's not like, I actually do like that idea. Oh man. Making monsters for my own game as well. What do you think of a living eye with tentacles that forces its way into a sleeping person's head to replace theirs? Should it just be a parasite extending extra hit die on res? I do love the idea of a parasite though. Like, we should definitely think about making, because especially we can make it plant-based too. Plant parasite. I do love that idea, CH. Heimko, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, Heimko, don't worry. We will use that idea of the undead or lich centaur, which is already like really cool. Typically, you see the liches like riding dragons or something, like Draco liches or whatever, but a Draco centaur, dude. Vampire lich centaur. It's happening, dude. It is happening. Oops. Oh, I think I fucked something up. That's fine. Yeah, parasite would be awesome. So we'll make a parasite, but let's focus. All right, we'll focus. We'll make our second monster the parasite, because I love that idea. Parasite. So I need ideas for for like an incubus dryad or some kind of demonic dryad, or just like just a plant succubus? Like, what could we do with that? There was that one plant that turned people into zombies in the Tomb of Annihilation. Oh, there is a lot of stuff we could do with spores too. Just like illusory spores. The succubus could turn people into trees and burn them like the beast in Over the Garden Wall. I haven't seen that. Though the planting of people sounds macabre as fuck and totally on brand. Oh, no, okay, we're writing this down. Okay, hold on. So, we're probably gonna do little by little, because this is gonna be a process, because I want these monsters to be awesome. So we're gonna take the best ideas and start cooking with them. So, let's pick one of these. Assassinus. We'll do corpse planting. We can figure out like the names later on. Yeah, so just to like write the idea down. So she plants the cadaver. I don't know how to spell cadavers. Cadavers. She plants the cadavers on the ground. So we will put like a thing here so that we can remember that we still have to work that. Because I love the concept of just like, imagine you're in an adventure. People are missing, right? The forest has been like weird lately. Not really sure why. And you send the explorers in. They go about investigating and they find corpse trees. Like literally the people are just being like planted onto the ground. It doesn't have to be like completely bark skinned, kind of just like I don't want it to be like a Medusa is with statues. It doesn't have to be that way. But just people maybe like half buried on the ground with roots coming out. And then the roots are just grafted onto their bodies, sort of absorbing some of the blood. So we can do... She plants the cadavers on the ground to feed the foul, forest. It sounds like a very, like a hag thing to do, which I love. An undead celestial being. Thank you so much for the super chat, Gabros. I go a little bit easy on me. So I don't want to miss. I think I missed one. But I love this. I love this. Plants the cadavers on the ground to feed the foul forest. And we want it to be... See, we want there to be like a reason why she's doing this too. Right? So... Because, like, the idea of just spreading foulness for the sake of spreading foulness is a hack thing. I don't want to delve too much into hackness. Though we could certainly make a hack, but you guys didn't vote for the hack. So, we have to figure out, like, a very specific reason why she would do something like this. That is not just to create darkness in the area. I don't even want it to be, like... I don't even want it to be... Oh, wait. What if... when you chop down the tree, they turn into the original human form or whatever. See, I like the idea that maybe she can create either illusions or simulacrums, like clones of the people that she is absorbing. Or maybe she can take on the... Because like a succubus is a polymorph-based creature, right? She takes on the shape and forms of people. So maybe she needs to do that in order to be able to polymorph into those people. But there will have to be something more than that, because that would just be like a weaker succubus, right? Succubus can just kind of just do that naturally. Maybe we could play on the idea that like she is drawing on the youth, or yeah, just like vigor of the people she buries, so that she can keep herself young, which would be more of a succubus thing too. Thank you for the super chat, Solnum. Immortal creatures become immortal in a bad way. I mean, definitely would be like a lair, right? Like fighting a creature like this in her garden, like that has to be like fucked, right? So I don't know how I would write this down, but it doesn't matter. I can just do like lair garden of corpses. I like that too. Could be a succubus infect, be a type of parasite spores. See, I like the idea of the parasites, but I want to save it for the next one. I want to try and like focus on the everything parasitic we'll put on the next one. A hag who plants parasites on children to cook adults and feed them to the hag. Yikes, guys. Singing Banshee of Illustrae. I don't want to use Illustrae because it's Grim Hollow. That would be the thing. Perhaps this corruption is to help feed her young. Ironically, this horror is a very protective and caring mother. Oh, we could play with morality a bit. So it's for food, like literal food. How could we make that happen? So, because I'm basically making it canon already. Half buried under the ground, roots coming out from the ground, and the roots are grafted onto their skin. So you can't just save them, right? Oh, that's the other one. So you can't just pull them out from the roots because they're literally grafted onto their skin. Maybe some of the roots are literally going into their body because the people are alive, right? The people are still alive, their heart is still beating, and the roots, part of them maybe are like grasping the heart of the individual. So you can't just save them. So maybe you have to do something. Maybe you have to do something in the garden, or maybe you have to... What I love about... We could make it so that they can only be let go if the plant itself lets go purposefully. If you try and force it, it kills the people. And so you're essentially forced to roleplay or figure out some kind of creative way of dealing with that. Because we could create two monsters with this, right? We could very easily just make the actual succubus creature, but then sort of like the branch/plant monster, and have them kind of just almost be intertwined. So I think this plays a lot with the Dryad, how the Dryad has the tree that she bonds with, and how she needs the trees to survive. If the tree gets cut down, she dies. And if she dies, I believe the tree might die too. And they cannot go too far away from each other. So we can play on those same factors, but instead of a oak tree, it's basically some kind of corrupted, Grim Hollow, underground type of root. And then we can create two different entirely, things based on that. And so, because it makes a lot more sense. I didn't like the idea of her just corrupting the area, but if she's literally feeding... wait, hold on. This is all coming back. This is coming together. So she's a plant succubus. She doesn't succubize people. She succubizes plants. And she uses the plants. So she basically seduces plants and then corrupts them. So she finds maybe treants or any kind of legendary plant, big plant, whatever, and she seduces the plant creature, turning that plant twisted. I'm going with that because I love it. So we're going to create plant succubus. Okay. She is going to have, instead of onion stench in here, let's see. Okay, I wish I could do view. Oh, that's unfortunate. I fucked up something on my OBS. And I am a scrub and I don't know how to make it fix, so that's fine. Just won't use OBS. It's all good. Alright. The Missile Queen, I love it. Where was I? So yeah, instead of onion stench, we will have what was I gonna do? Oh, plant charm. So so we can do, you know, we don't have to deal too much with like the very specific intricacies of, because I will take my time to make it like spell it appropriately and make sure that it fits how D&D does things, but just to kind of have the basis of this. With an action, she can, you know, charm plants and corrupt them over time. So in over here, basically, she would have an action to like do some kind of dominate plant spell, basically. So we would create a spell for that or whatever, just dominate monster, but for plants. And she could control them or whatever and seduce them in that way. I have two primary questions about this project that will make me decide if I will buy this. Will the monsters have CR and will the monsters have alignments? I'm not really I would imagine so, Lord Mio. I don't know, but I would imagine so. Like, I would be surprised if they didn't have CRs or alignments. Perhaps like how baby mammals can only feed on milk at first, these baby monsters need a still living humanoid to feed on. What if he's their father? I mean, we could definitely like include like babies you know, in this. So like baby Treants, but like demonic, created by the succubus. Like these ideas are all like pretty cool. So corpse planting, that's part of the lair. Plant charm, that's basically what she does. And we can do here, I like we're enormous nose here. So tied to her tree. We're basically making it like a very fucked up dryad. So she... Oops, I'm typing on the wrong place. She cannot go farther than 1 mile away from her tree. From her corrupted tree. She can use an action to hide under the roots of her tree. Could she be a collective of the innocent and so usually protects them because they are what creates her and punish the wicked because they threaten her existence? Innocence is life, sin is poison. See, I do like that idea too, of just like a manifestation of the innocence of the forest that keeps getting burnt. And so it's like lashing out, but it's not necessarily evil. How about eternally burning treant or deadwood treant or a vampiric dryad or a death nymph? A death nymph is dangerous. If you see her, you die. Something like that. Like that's really harsh. An eternally burning treant, like a treant that has been somehow cursed to like suffer for all eternity. Perhaps you can only go so far from her corrupted tree network, giving her a reason to expand and also making her more... Oh, dude. Beautiful. So, I like it. I like it. That is brilliant. Okay, so she's tied up to her tree, but she can expand how far she can go using corpse planting. So her corpse, the corpses she plants are extensions to her territory. I just imagine like in StarCraft 2, the creep where the queen kind of puts in creep and it just expands, like, and now she can go farther. I love it. We do need like a cool thing just for like, because I want the idea of the farm. Like you enter into the lair and it's just a farm of people. You should use summon plants from the campaign guide, plus a few other spells. You can also make an aura of mental screwery. I do want to create a monster that basically functions as an AoE damage dealer, like an aura. You know how like the Baylor has that aura of fire, like something like that, where instead of just dealing damage, it's just like the very existence of the creature, like things just kind of rot around it. Like that would be fun too. So she isn't evil, but driven by primal instinct. That's also kind of good too. So, okay, anyways, plant succubus. So I want the succubus to be the heart of this monster, because it's going to be two monsters. It's going to be the plant and then the very specific type of succubus. And I want the succubus to not be strong. And I think this is important. I want her to be the heart of the creature in a way. And so the root, the plant part is really strong, really durable. When you're fighting this monster, roots are coming out of the ground and slashing out you. The heroes are going to come in, they're going to slash at the roots, destroy them. That's not going to harm the creature, right? It's going to be, the players are going to have to go through the very difficult to reach location of the root and also fight all the tentacles and the exterior to get to where the core is, which is where the succubus would be hiding. And so I want the succubus to be really weak. I don't want the succubus to be necessarily just like fully out there, just attacking the players. I want her to be like the center. I think it's really cool, the idea of creating tiny simulacrums of the succubus that appear out of bark. So like imagine the players attacking this nasty corpse grove. And tentacles are coming out and they're cutting down the tentacles, burning out the tentacles, whatever, right? And then this vine, almost like a root, just comes out of the floor, and the root takes on the shape of a beautiful lady that she opens her eyes and starts speaking to stop, to stop, to stop. We can make her be like very innocent, basically just driven by instinct or driven by love. And then just obviously doing like very evil shit, but just playing on the grimdark setting of just like, she's just herself. She's gonna act innocent. She's gonna act like maybe like a child. She's gonna be very much just like afraid of dying. Just like really try and just sell maybe like the moral dilemma of attacking her. And so whenever the players plant charm. So we'll do, she binds with the plant she has charmed. Damage to the plant hurts is felt by her in pain, but not in damage. So when the players are hitting the plant, they hear the screams of agony, but it's not actually harming her, she just feels the pain. She can appear anywhere where the roots of the plant show and create a very weak simulacrum of herself to speak or attack. If she dies, the plant dies. Because I like to envision this as like the plants are drawing sustenance from the, like, this is like very Matrix, right? So like the human batteries, part of the Matrix, are absorbing the humans. And so whilst the plant has people on the grove, maybe it regenerates, right? So like attacking the roots, dealing with the exterior of the plant doesn't do anything. The players have to go into the heart and kill the succubus. Love the bits. Good luck with the monsters. Thank you, the DM. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. So this has come out to be a really interesting character, which I love. Maybe the... I would have to like figure out exactly how the abilities work, but obviously like I would envision her being able to maybe like move and appear in the roots to be part of her lair action, so she would have to be obviously in the lair. So like these are all things that I have to figure out and put in the right place. How soon does the plant die off? The plant would die off like almost immediately as soon as she's killed. So that would be the idea. So she herself, I would want her to be very weak. So I'll give her an armor class of 16, which is bark skin. Hit points. So I guess we have to figure out sort of what kind of level this is. So a treant is CR 10, I believe. So we could maybe start just like working down, because like I'm trying to imagine this, because I will create a monster for like a very powerful corrupted like elder plant, right? And we will set up a base stat block for the big plant. But I also want to allow the ability for a player to use the plant succubus to just enthrall a normal treant. And then maybe even just carry the treant like with her, right? So the players might encounter like a corrupted dark treant just like ambulating around the forest, just kind of like being fucked, right? And people, maybe you have to figure out what is wrong with it without knowing that there is like a succubus inside. Because that's what dryads do. Dryads can just go inside of their tree and you can't see them, you can't interact with them. They're basically just gone. So I would allow the succubus to be able to do that too. So you never know if the succubus is who's doing this. You could imagine that, I guess, but that would be the general gist. So treant. So a treant, I believe is CR 10. 9. I was close. Okay. So I'm gonna create. How would I do this? How strong? What CR do you guys want me to make? Because I want to have a stat block. Because I was told, by the way, to create like as many monsters as we can. So I want to create like 3 or 4 good monsters, but like in terms of the amount of stat sheets, like I can just go bananas. So I'll probably create like a very unique plant monster to go with her, and then a corrupted treant version. 13, CR 8. I want to stay away from the treant. So treant is 9. So something that is not that close to 9 would be preferable. CR 6 to 8. I'm getting a lot of 7s. 6 to 8, 7s, 8s. We could go higher for 13, 11, 12. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have specified. This is a CR for the plant, not for the succubus. The succubus is going to be like CR like 1. Like she's not going to be a strong combat. Maybe CR 3. Like something that could do something, but it's not just getting, you know. The idea is you go to the center, you find the succubus, it's over. The challenge is to get to the succubus. So for the plant monster, CR 20. Some people are aiming for the sky. Each plant should be 5. Okay. Could song, holy water, or fertilizer be used to get through her and potentially make her a protector? To like uncorrupt her or somehow just like fix her. That would be an interesting thing to try and work. Okay, we'll make her a CR 7. CR 7 is gonna be. This is different from a plant creature. It's a barren zombie that would appear like a weak or hurt humanoid, and once in combat, they would have these tentacles explode out of the body. It's a lot of focus on the things exploding out of the head. And some weird vibes I'm getting from you guys. Okay, so we'll make the plant CR 7. So she's gonna be like a CR 3. Well, let me go ahead and basically figure it out. So we're gonna see what that would mean for us. So I'm gonna do this and see. So CR 3 for the succubus. Well, that is way too many hit points. Wait, do CR3 monsters don't have that much hit points? What the fuck? That's like way too many. That seems crazy to me. CR3 with a +4 to hit? I feel like I'm getting bamboozled, dude. Maybe I need to go down. CR, there's no way. This is bonkers. CR1 monster with 70 like hit points, 85 hit points. Get out of here. Get out of here. Kuroneko, thank you so much. Hey, you could call this monster a Drocubase, taking the old word for tree and to lie. A Drocubase. That's not bad. CH, the plant could be a gargantuan size, but underground. Yeah, I'm thinking underground for sure. There needs to be like an approachable side to it, but I do like the idea that most of it is under, because I like the idea of roots coming out of the ground. That's like the big thing for me. And of course, like all the people that are buried have those roots coming out of them and they're going down. So you could drop HP and increase AC. Yeah, that's something that I could do for her. So, oh, that's true too, because she's supposed to have a armor class of 16. So, Jesus, yeah, this is like very weird. Anyways, I'll probably give her. I'll make her a. I'll make her a CR3. The HP is not as relevant. We should just make it like 1 HP, dude. Like, why should we even like care too much? I guess I should, just in case that, because I guess you have to think about what if players cast like Dream, because I think that a Dream spell can deal damage, like psychic damage. You know what I mean? People can just do weird shit to automatically hit a monster, and I should at least make sure that she's not getting one-shotted by some bullshit. Would it be nice to add some kind of lore from her origin? I'm supposed to, yeah, for sure. Okay, so CR3, we're going to use a lot of this, so we're going to lower the damage to about 15 damage. Save DC, we'll make it 15 or 13, I think is fine. Yeah, this has not been very useful, to be honest, this CR3, like just looking at these numbers. So we're going to have to come up with some stuff ourselves. Boom, boom. Okay. So HP, I'm gonna give her. Let's see. Boop. So you're gonna have a D8. Her Constitution is gonna be, I think, should be pretty high. So let's do 14. No, that's intelligence. What the fuck? Constitution 15. All right, 14 Constitution. That'll be +2. She's gonna be very physically frail because she's relying on the plant to like basically do everything. So she's gonna have a 7, which is gonna be, that's a -2, right? I think it's -2. Dexterity, high normal dexterity, so she's gonna have like an 11. That'll be +0. Intelligence average, I'll give her like a 13. That's +1. Wisdom, fairly wise. So she's gonna need high charisma, obviously, being a succubus, but also demons and like devils in general, they derive their power from their charisma. So we want to make sure that her charisma is at least at 16. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up making, just a 16. Give her a +3. Struggling mighty here, and I guess wisdom could just be average. We'll give her like a 10. Doesn't have to be. We don't have to think too hard on this, but something like this. Condition immunity is groovy. Yeah, we don't have to go too hard on this. I basically what I need you guys for is just for the idea process. Like, I'll take the time to just like, I'll probably grab what a succubus has or a dryad and then just kind of combine those things into the immunities and languages and senses and all that stuff. I do want to write like senses. Oh, what if her senses maybe extend somewhat to the corpses that are buried around? Can sense some stuff around the buried corpses. I like that. Languages doesn't matter. She can speak potty mouth. That's perfectly fine. And I'm gonna make her like a chance level 3 because the plant's gonna be 7, so I want to make sure that she's at least somewhat comparable and that she needs to be able to do things. But that's it. So the layer is gonna be the Garden of Corpses. Love morally ambiguous characters that aren't necessarily evil, but just have an alien mindset to humans. Yeah, those are the best ones. When like they have a reason why they're doing the things they do, and it's not just like kooky evil nonsense. Tremor Sense would actually be really good. I like Tremor Sense. We'll probably add that in here. Plus Tremor Sense. But yeah, so in the garden, as a layer, she will be able to speak and appear as simulacrums around her lair. Simulacrum would be a bark version of herself, very weak as well. Mostly communication, roleplay, maybe some like teeny bit of damage. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're not gonna fill in everything. Oh, that didn't do anything. What if I do? Does that do something? Doesn't do anything. Fuck. That's fine. Okay. So I want to figure out some unique features of this monster. Because I love this. I love the idea of giving her a very specific weakness. Something that players can do if they find it out to basically just not necessarily gonna insta-kill her, but like get tremendous advantages. And I also want to figure out like just very minute details about how to free, like if there's a trick to free the people that have been imprisoned in the vines. Perhaps like what kind of fruit grows from the infested people. That's kind of fucked. What if there is a fruit that grows too, just from like, I don't necessarily want this to be like part of what she does, because that's again like we're entering into hack territory, but maybe something that you can do with the leaves, the fruits, just anything that grows out of the actual plant itself. A blood fruit. The vines could grow pomegranates. Bed of Chaos from Dark Souls, yes. Oh, dude, that's sick, yeah. Because you can almost see, like, in the Bed of Chaos, like, it's kind of like a tied up, like, woman on the bark. If you eat the fruit, you can gain a transformation of some sort. Maybe you can communicate, like, it has to be something that is, like, beneficial with a dark twist. Because that's, like, on brand. The forest draws the life force out of living things. It's slow enough to where they don't notice, but it's such an area it gives her vigor. Oh, cursed bark skin. That might be like a cool magic item you can get at the end. Cursed bark skin, maybe like a spell or a magic item of sorts, because we do have to figure out like drops too, so I like that. Or the ability to create bark simulacrums, because the simulacrums that exist in D&D as it is, I believe they're made out of snow. So if we can create like a bark version, that would be awesome. Make the plants based on the monkey snow climb tree. I haven't seen that. So that the roots are a minefield. Ooh. Maybe the seeds of the fruit could infest the eater. I was thinking that you eat the fruit, the seed just kind of goes into your tummy, and but like I want to have a very strong beneficial effect and have like preferably it would be like not something that would harm the players, but definitely have some kind of like dark twist to it. Necroforged. Undead Warforged. I mean, Warforged are made out of, like, wood, right? Part of them. You can make some kind of rotten wood. Thank you, Andres Marrero, for the $10 super chat. There's no comment on it, but I appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. Madness bombs. Eating the fruit heals you, but the more you eat, the more corrupted treants and other hostile plants are. No, see, what about this? This is what I'm thinking. What if there's literally no negative to the fruit? So, like, to grow the fruit, you need to sacrifice a person, so that person needs to be buried. Roots need to grow into their bodies and basically cause them like untold suffering. But they can deliver a fruit, and that fruit is really good. So then it's just a matter of like, the fruit is great. You can eat it. It grants you sustenance. It has a lot of awesome benefits. But you kind of had to sacrifice a person to get it. It's kind of like the pies from Curse of Strahd. I forgot the name of them. Where the hags in Curse of Strahd, spoilers, I guess if you haven't played Curse of Strahd, but there are these pies in the game that there's nothing necessarily negative about them. Like, they're great. But the problem is that they're so great that people do get addicted, right? And, you know, the players can eat them, and there's really no negative to it necessarily, unless, like, you really roleplay into the addiction. But, like, the pies are being made out of the bones of children, right? So, like, the pie doesn't do anything that bad. It's just where it comes from that's bad. And so that's where the morality kind of hits, right? The fruit is a spell component for a powerful spell. I love that, Gabros. That's a good idea. So, because like, we're actually creating some spells here. Perhaps the fruit is a component for a powerful spell. If you want to go really messed up, then the fruit could be her developing babies. You could hold them hostage for negotiation. See, we could do that if there was like the one or like the two fruits, right? But I don't know if it works. I do love the idea, but we would have. I think we needed to create the monster in a different way for that to be the case. What about when she is killed? What parts of her would be useful for what? Yeah. So we need to get on that too. So for now, what we're gonna do is perhaps the fruit is a component for a powerful spell, have some good benefits, but morally questionable to eat them. And then we can make the fruits because I don't want them to just be growing all the time. The reason why these people are being buried is because it gives sustenance to the plant. I don't want it, like, the fruit is like a rare thing that can happen, right? Because I would imagine that, like, this is a big tree thing. So there would be like many parts of this plant, some of which might look like trees or branches or whatever, and then like you could find the fruit. The fruit is very rare. How about a monster with no facial features and uses tremor sense to find victims? If caught, takes a part of their face and it gains abilities based on that. Thank you, Paris the Nerd, for the super chat. Like a doppelganger type of monster. Those tend to be really good. It would be about figuring out what makes that monster different or better than like a normal doppelganger. It's like they made the doppelgangers very strong in D&D. Like a doppelganger can just take on any shape it wants, and it can detect thoughts of people around them. So he can just like memorize what the person that he's stealing the face from is thinking. So like we would need to somehow, if we wanted to do something like that, we would need to figure out like how to make it different or stronger than a doppelganger, and that's what's hard. Because we don't want to be like too, you know, we want to just steal it. Okay, anyway, so this is the plant succubus. So let me just quickly go in here and do monster stat block, because we'll create the actual plant. So what's the succubus? So the plant, we set our sights on a CR7 monster. So a CR7 monster, we're actually going to use the stats here that have been given to us. So we'll set it at 170 HP. Down here. So like 176 HP. It's going to be Simp Plant. There you go. We'll fix the name in a bit. Armor class, let's see. So I'm gonna basically use a lot of what's in the DMG to figure out a lot of this stuff. So armor class is bark skin at 16. I mean, like, that's pretty straightforward. We don't have to think too hard on that one. And attack bonus +6. It would deal on average about 50 damage per hit, not per hit, per round, which is important. But we're basically like mostly done because like that's stuff that I'm gonna do later. So what I'm gonna do here is under the abilities, big jerk. I'm gonna type in here tentacles from the deep, from the ground deep, and then type in. He can summon his tentacles to attack in any place its roots reach. Yeah, so something like that, so that the tentacles can come out of the, you know. It can sense. Oh, let me do sassiness over here. It can sense through tremor sense things happening around the corpse groves. All right, so we basically got it. Same plant. Challenge rating when I put it at 7. Just kind of writing down the normal stuff. And then we're gonna have another monster stat block. Oh, conditions. The fuck is that? What did I do? Oh no. It like posted the new monster. Just right. Oh no. Why did it do that? Can I just like, there it is, I can do that. Okay. So I don't think there's a new way for me to do this. What if I just do new page? Oh my god, dude, please. Alright, let me save this. Save. Okay. Can I get PDF? Haha. Alright, I'll just like keep it there. It's all good. Coulter Wilson made this for a druid. Might work here. Lingering rot. The area she walks through becomes corrupted with rot and decay. Any creature that passes through the area where this creature passed through takes 2d4 necrotic damage. That's pretty good too, yeah. Again, I like the idea of the AoE, and I want to work some kind of like damage dealing, just AoE thing, where players. It doesn't even have to be a lot of damage. It could just be small ticking damage that basically makes it so the players have to hurry up and like think creatively about how to destroy. I love the idea of just having a monster that gets attacked. Right, the monster is in front of you. Attack it. Like no, like, figure out what's going on, solve the problem. Right. A specific branch or root that can be fashioned into a wand. A wand that summons necrotic vines to ensnare foes. Yeah, I like that too. Let's write it down. Oh, because he's already saved up, right? I don't think can I type something in here? Oh dear God, dude, this is so creepy. I'm using Firefox right now to do this, but this is designed for Chrome. And when I started, it warned me. He was like, "Hey, by the way, like, you should probably use Chrome for this thing because we don't know what's gonna happen if you use Firefox." So that's why I think it's why it's been so weird. Do you remember to write down the ideas you get? I'm writing some of them down. There's too many for me to write all of them. But the big thing is we're basically going to be working on the parasite idea because I love the idea of the parasite, especially something head exploding is kind of what I'm hopefully going to go with next. But okay, I like the concept of this. We don't have to worry too much about the actual attacks itself. Of course, when the book comes out, you will see it all just there in the flesh ready. Dude, I cannot wait. Because, dude, they have like the craziest artists. Let me see if I can show you guys. So this is like the original Grim Hollow book. The art that they have. They don't have any monsters in here, I believe, which is unfortunate. But they have like real art. They gave me like a bunch of because they already have designed a bunch of the art for the monsters that they have already created for the Monster Grimoire, and the art is incredible. And it's gonna be so fun to see. Like, I will tell them, I'll do my best to tell them specifically that I want the corpse graveyard to be like a big part of the art that they do for the monster. I just want to see the graveyard just like with people, just like scarecrows, but just people. Oh my fucking god, it's gonna be awesome. Alright, I'm really glad I did this with you guys. This is great. Okay, so anyways, we have some good ideas here. I'll finish the monster at some point. This is all really good. We should move on to the next. So we got like 3, because I'll do a corrupted treant also version of this. So we're good there. Let me go ahead and okay. Let me see if I can save it. Make sure that I'm saving all of this stuff. The Garden of Corpses. Oh, fuck. Dude, that's gonna be awesome. I've been thinking about like creating my own mini adventure. Just, you know, something that I can put in DM's Guild or whatever. And I'm getting inspired. I'm getting real inspired just to like do something like this with a grove of corpses. All right, so let's do a new thing. Let's just delete all of this. Now we'll create a parasite. So for the so you guys voted for a vampiric plant. That's option number 2. So we're gonna do a vampiric plant with a parasite twist to it. So the idea of a parasite creature, I think that the most successful parasites are the ones that don't kill the host, right? You want a creature that takes from the host, just kind of like I guess it doesn't have to be subtly, but if it kills the host, it just kind of like, it'll just eventually die unless it can just move to something else, right? So we could create, because I think there's like 2 or 3 ways we could do this. One, we could have a parasite that jumps around. So when it kills or takes whatever it wants from its target, it just jumps to someone else. Or we could do one where it just kind of stays. I'm not sure which one would be better. You can make it like a plant symbiote from Venom. So like, see, it's like a plant, like a parasite that talks to you, takes over from you. By definition, parasite don't kill the host. Parasite that kill the host are pseudo-parasites. Interesting. A parasite warlock patron. They did one of those, right? I think they did. What about a vampiric plant that when it sucks the blood from a target, it lays its parasitic offspring inside of the host? We could do something like that too. Because it has to, we would have to figure out how it starts. And then the parasitic kind of component could just be like its reproductive process, where it's like pollen. You kind of breathe it or you get stung by it or something like that. The host could be basically suicide bombers. Oh shit, dude. Dude, I love it. Yeah, because there's only... I'm trying to think. I think there's only one monster I might even have it here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get access to it. So there is one monster. I think it's in Mordenkainen and some of foes. Let's look at the orcs. You guys probably already know where I'm going with this. I would have to find it, because I'm pretty sure it was here. It wasn't Oh, there's a plant here already. Corpse flower. Oh, dude, I love it. I love that so much. Oh, we do have to make the centaur. That's the other thing. Undead, necromantic, like lich centaur. We gotta make that happen. I'll just scroll here for a while. I'm getting a little bit dizzy. Dude, I swear. Am I crazy? I'm not crazy, right? It's gonna take me to like orcas or... Oh, Jesus, there's so many orcs. This was not helpful at all. I want to go faster. Gotta go faster. But we can go even further beyond. Yeah, no, maybe it wasn't Mordenkainen's Morphos. Was it Volos? Might have been Volos, dude. So there was this, it was Volos, right? Fuck me. I don't have Volos open right now. Let me see. I need to show you guys. So it's happening. But I do have Volos here. I think this might screw up with the... No, there it is. Cool. Yeah, here it is. I think this orc nurture. I think it was this one, the nurtured guy. Look, orc nurtured one of Yurtrus. So corrupted carrier. When the orc is reduced to 0 hit points, it explodes. Here, I'll zoom it in for you guys. When he is killed, it explodes, and then it just deals, I guess, damage all around, and it just spreads poison and stuff, and like it looks like this. So we could create something like that, make it plant-based. So, because this is just for orcs. But create a bunch of... But what would be the twist? We would need a really cool twist so that we're not just like, you know, just taking this idea. We want it to be a little bit more unique than that. Maybe... a main host that infects other creatures and uses those minions as mobile bombs. Hey man, I have a host of homebrew monsters. I'd love to have a... If you have a pick too. Do you have a Gmail I could share the docs with? You guys can always... if you want to send me, like, well, specifically art, because it's not for other things. Dude, the thing is that the best way to contact me if you want to like talk to me, it's always Discord. I have a Discord which is given to all of my $3 and up patrons. So that's the best way, because I'm always there, right? I wouldn't want the... Because I have emails that are very specific for like business and for art. So I wouldn't want to use those. Cordyceps monster that mimics rot grubs, but go for the brain. If PC dies, they are controlled and have the same abilities as Cordyceps monster. Thank you so much, Bear King. Andres, thank you for the support. I truly appreciate you guys. You guys have been very generous today. It's not lost to me. You guys have been very generous. I appreciate you, all of you. See, my issue is that, like, if we make it mobile, I guess we would have to make it mobile, because if we make some kind of like hive mind style of plant, we're kind of just doing the same thing we just did with the succubus, right? The succubus was a monster that stays stale. You have to get to it to defeat it. I don't want to do that again. So perhaps... Perhaps, I mean, we could do something like that, but just like really incentivize the mobility of the monster. So... So like a hive mind style monster that ambulates, that moves around, is always just moving, and it spreads its pollen around so that people breathe it. But how would it be parasitic? How would we have it? Because my first instinct is just make it so that it's like more like a scouting thing, right? But a spore breath weapon? Huh? Oh, do you know what? That's a cool idea. Because it could start... Okay, maybe we can do it like this. We can have a monster that is basically like the orc nurtured one of Yurtus, where if you kill it, it kind of does like an AoE explosion, but instead of a damaging poisonous explosion, it just kind of explodes in spores, right? And everyone like breeds it or whatever, and then it just becomes, because it doesn't have to be a monster that, again, like, I'm not looking for monsters that you can defeat by just simply attacking. Maybe it has to be more with roleplay. So maybe this type of monster is not a monster that you kill. It's more of a roleplay type of monster where it walks around kind of like a zombie. Just imagine like a walking corpse, like a bark monster or something. It doesn't matter how it looks, but the idea is that almost like a zombie, it goes around, and when it is killed, it explodes in pollen. And then that pollen gets breathed out by all the different creatures that are around. And then when the people breathe it, that's when the real monster, kind of just like the real, I guess, battle begins. And then just, it would be about figuring out what it does to the people, whether it maybe attaches to the brain in one way, and then how it spreads around, right? So we would need to figure out what the starting stage for the monster is, how it reproduces, which in this case would be by exploding, spreading the seeds, having people breathe those seeds, and then how it goes from that back to another ambulating sort of like spore host. A boomer type monster, yeah. It walks, and if it gets hit, it blows up. Yeah. A new curse, yeah. It could be like it could work like a curse. I know that they're doing a big push on their new book that it should be coming out soon. The Grimoire Player's Guide. They did this entire revamp for curses to make them really matter. Because it's so sad that you can come up with the coolest curse, and then it's just like remove curse, and it's like level 3 spell done. You know. Zombie ants. Oh, that's scary. Like, you kill the guy, and instead of exploding into pollens, it just explodes into ants. Just ants going everywhere. Like the flood from Halo. Yeah. That would be like an apocalyptic thing. It attaches to the heart and feeds on the blood. A Karen monster that loves to talk to your managers, to your warlock patrons. Oh, this is hard. This one feels harder to like figure out because it theoretically wouldn't be just like a monster that you would just attack. This would just be more of a scenario, like an event that you'd have to deal with. So this is the sort of like, it's just like a single encounter. You absorb the spore, and then you have to deal with your body kind of doing something. And then as soon as you figure out how to counter it, the event is over, right? And the monster is defeated. Like, that might be like the idea here. Could feed on the memories. Dude, I've always wanted to work with something like that. So like the people who are infested with this parasite, they just forget things. So like, oh, fuck. Okay, maybe we have hit on something cool here. So you enter the village, you're an adventuring group, you enter the village, people just, everything is normal, right? You don't see the spores. That's the whole point. You don't see them. It's people, some of them have them inside. Everyone's kind of living around, doing their thing, and they're just forgetting. Just forgetting things here and there. The players might start to ingest them. They forget a few things. It's not a big deal, right? Something you want to fix. but it's not like, oh shit, oh, like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to have that imperative action attached to it. It's just, you role play it out. People start forgetting things. It's feeding on their memories. I like it. I think I'm gonna go with that. I think I'm gonna go with the memories angle. So we're gonna start writing some of this. This is still, we need to figure out a lot. But what if I use a lighter monster? Ooh, there it is. Sinister Vanilla Dragon. Okay. Because this approach insinuates that there is like a beast that created the spores and is feeding off of those memories. I type in here, memory feeder. Spores eat on memories of those infected. It's a vampiric creature, that's the whole point. So it's sending those memories or that energy back into whatever the main sort of person would be. So why would someone want memories? Why would someone... I mean, we could make it a psychic monster. So like the third option, because you guys voted for all of this, like I said before, the third option was a psychic plant monster. So when I think memories, I also think psychic. So we could combine those two. I guess we're combining three things: spores, vampiric, and psychic. So it would be like a psychic plant that is absorbing the memories of people, and that just fuels it. A mind leech. Oh, fuck me, dude. Fuck me hard, dude. That's a name. It's a mind leech. Fuck yeah. What a god. Sergio Navarro. Thank you, man. That's it. That is it. The Raven Queen wants memories too. We could make an optional table so that the DM or player rolls on what memory they're feeding on. Oh. See, I'd love the idea of telling them, you're gonna lose this memory, right? So like, I said, you're narrating it, right? Am I live? I'm live, right? I don't know. It says that I'm not live and it's creeping me out. I don't know why it does that. Okay. Yeah, it's just weird. Okay. I love the idea as a DM of just being like, for whatever reason, like, you feel like you're starting to forget the name of your like girlfriend. It's like, and then you start like developing slowly, just like, I just love the idea of it picking a part of your memories and then start slowly digesting that and telling your players that if you don't do something like this, you're gonna have to delete this from your character bio. To accumulate knowledge. We're gonna have to make this like a psionic, psychic monster for sure. So sustenance is like an obvious choice, but we could make it a little bit more spicy. So what happens? So I think it's best to start like this whenever creating a monster like this. What happens if all of your memories are stolen, right? Like this is the end game. You find a village, this is the monster. You find a village, you throw out your spores, nobody finds you, nobody realizes. You just kind of keep on slowly just jogging at the village, and then you eat all the memories. What's left? What happens to those people? Because we could create an entire new monster or a creature or some kind of thing that happens when you're like a husk of your former self. So maybe when you lose all of your memories, you turn into something. And maybe have that something also be something that's beneficial to the leech. So it could be like a mind leech zombie. Maybe it's trying to put in different memories into the people, right? After, like whenever, maybe it doesn't need the memories for sustenance or to accumulate knowledge. Maybe it just needs literal space in the brain of the people so that it can put its own memories in. Maybe this is what you guys were talking about before, right? Like you guys like the idea of a forest that is not inherently evil, but like a guardian gets created to protect the forest that is not evil, it's just innocent, it just wants to protect itself. So maybe he just starts putting in those memories of just like, protect the forest. So everyone in the village just becomes like super into defending the forest for whatever reason, but there's like a macabre angle to it because they are literally almost like zombies. Then you become a tree that generates more spores. Taking people's memories to make its own intelligence / personality. That could be interesting if he was looking for something, right? Like it's taking memories to find something. Maybe there's something that humans do or create that this monster really likes, and it just goes around checking people's memories to see if they know something about the thing that he looks for. Thank you for the super chat, Andres. Yeah, the question is, why isn't this all over the world, right? So like, you can always say that the monster is very rare, but like, why wouldn't the spores just like spread out? So you would imagine that there would have to be like a very short range for this, which I think would be beneficial for the players. When a village is infested, the monster has to be very close. Oh shit. Oh, we could big game this. Oh my god, what if? What if it literally... Okay, what if we keep it simple? What if it literally feeds from the people that it infests? But the reason why it takes its memories away with the spores is because it needs to be very, very close so that it can do its vampiric kind of sustenance, like suck in from the spores. But it has to be really close. This monster literally would have to be walking in the village for its effect to work. And so it takes memories away from people and then adds in the memory of itself because it looks almost like a human or like a big plant or something. So imagine you enter a village and it's just a normal village. You have the river, the windmill, you know, whatever. Like there's the baker, there's the blacksmith, and then that beautiful tree in the middle of the plaza. Well, yeah, everyone knows the tree in the middle of the plaza. Like Brian, made that tree 30 years ago or whatever. You know, he planted it, he set it out, and it grew over the 3 decades, right? Everywhere. It's the centerpiece of the park. Everyone knows the tree. In reality, that tree has been there for 2 days, right? It spored people into deleting some memories and adding in memories of that tree, and then the tree, like a tree, and just kind of walked in, cemented itself in the park, and now everyone believes that the tree has been there the whole time. The gaslighter. Rex, that's very, very, very similar to the false Hydra. I don't know what that is. Is that Skyrim thing? Please don't tell me that, like, I mean, it's... I really like the idea. I don't want to be stealing it from something else. I love it. How would it walk in without people seeing it? It could be... Just imagine it like very slowly, just like... What was it? There was that monster in Doctor Who where you... It was a statue, like the weird, creepy angels. So like, you know, you turn around and you see like an angel statue and he's like, oh, that's cool, it's an angel statue. You turn around and then you turn back around again and the statue is like closer. He's like, oh, was it always closer? That's weird. You turn around again and you turn and it's like right next to you. You're like, oh shit. So it just slowly starts to like, because it's deleting people's memories of it. And he's like, oh yeah, we always had that tree in the middle of the street. And then the next day it's like, yeah, we've always had that tree in the middle of the bench. Next day, oh yeah, that tree has always been in the park. You know what I mean? It's almost like that, there was that episode in Rick and Morty where like everyone believed that all those cookie characters were part of the family. The Weeping Angels. Yeah, dude, I love the Weeping Angels. Holy shit. Hey Rex, huge fan of your channel, and I actually have an original monster that I designed for a Star Wars campaign. Oof. Dude, this has been like a lot of fun, dude. Just making monsters. The forest is doing this just so that it can feel what it's like to be a human. Oh, dude. That's actually cute. So like there's not necessarily like an evilness to it. Maybe it doesn't even feed into the people. No, I think there needs to be like a reason why like adventurers would have to deal with it. And then make them deal with it a morally ambiguous thing. But there has to be like a thing that's doing that's bad. Even if it's in a good way. So like... Hey Rex, been watching your vids for years now. Great work. Thank you, Toto. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. It's been weird. I think I can't actually tell the difference if they are super chats or if they're just donations. I can't quite tell. Maybe the tree used to be human. Okay. So let's start working this in. I really like it. I really like these ideas. I want to keep on like going a little bit further in. So spores eat memories of those infected, and adds in memories of themselves always being in the city/town. Okay. It takes substance from the spores being in people's bodies. It absorbs their vigor. People in town are always tired and can't remember many things. How about it releasing a one-time only massive sleep cloud? I mean, that could be like a super, like a, if it ever feels in danger, right? Because like I like the idea that this tree-ant looking plant literally walks into town and plants itself maybe in the middle of the night and then makes everyone believe that it's always been there. So if it does get attacked by adventurers, then it can just like do things, right? So yeah, like it could do a big spore attack or something like that. We could probably put that in. So we could do big spore attack. I mean, we don't have to stick to this. Just like mace everyone asleep around is like one of its big actions. Maybe like with a recharge or something. Recharge 6, yeah. Put in like a recharge 6 or something. Just for fun. Okay, so I need to like write all of this down. So the monster slowly walks into town and makes itself believe, makes itself be part of the town. I'll just write it in a very broken way here. Uses spores to make people believe that it has always been there, as it uses its spores to feed vampiric-like on the people. It might bring others of its kind as well. So like slowly more and more of these plants, because like what's interesting is that the plants don't need, like they're not necessarily gonna kill the people. They're absorbing memories, but people are making new memories every day. But it's not the memory, they're just absorbing the vigor out of these people. So I mean, it might take like decades before they truly like actually absorb all the sucker from everyone in town. So these creatures could be here for a long time. So you could see multiples of these creatures just like slowly start making their way in, which would be interesting. But I do like the idea that they have to be close, because like you guys said, otherwise like why wouldn't the whole world be populated with these things? And like, you know, it would be like an apocalyptic thing. So we gotta make sure that we have a way to counteract something like that happening. All right, Mind Leech. So we know why it gets here. We know how it does, how it feeds. How would you find it? Let's start working on that. Let's say that you're a group of adventurers. You see that there's something weird with the town. Maybe you yourself have begun to forget certain things. How would a player go about figuring out which plant? Because I want to make it so that the plant itself looks like a what's the name of the stalactite monster? I'm blanking out on the creature with the all the tentacles. You guys know what I mean. Sensitive to sunlight, rain, or something. That could be a good one too. Yeah. Maybe that's how they can tell apart. They have to use like a very specific thing to find it. A roper. Yeah, so chat is very delayed, I just realized. So the roper has camouflage, like stone camouflage or whatever. So like as long as the roper is not moving, it just looks like a stalactite. So I want the tree to have this. So I'm gonna do in here sassiness. So we'll do like tree camouflage. I'm allowed to misspell things because English is my second language, by the way. So you guys cannot make fun of me. So when not moving, it is indiscernible. It's not correcting me, but that's fucked. It is indiscernible from a normal tree. Cool. And big weakness. In here we put in the big weakness. So big jerk. I want the weakness to be something fun, dude. Something like how about it attracting a type of animal that is normally shy of humans into town? Yeah, like a different monster that I don't know. Like ghosts? Like imagine what happens if you don't remember much. You feel like your memories, your life has been stolen from you and you die. You turn into a ghost. A ghost that is like, because this mind leech is very psychic. Maybe it also like brings it, like it doesn't, people just don't tend to pass effectively when a creature like the mind leech populates a town, and so it brings in like a lot of ghosts. I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Coulter Wilson, thank you for the super chat. A honey mushroom occupying like a lot of acres turns the villagers into a protective hive mind through spores. It is kind of interesting. There was a mission in Mass Effect. I don't remember which one. Might have been 3. It was something like that happening. You have like all the people just like protecting the plant monster. Might have been more for the succubus. Like if we wanted to go that route, that might have been like a more succubus thing to do. People at some point start worshipping it. Oh yeah, like the plant starts getting like over time the plant starts getting more and more like confident, and people just start like really being like really defensive about the tree. I like that. People are oddly defensive about the tree. As they lose their memories, they start neglecting things in the village. Houses are not painted. They stop planting. They don't bathe. They only eat a little bit. But the big tree, the mind leech, is very well taken care of. People are... Oh, yeah, no, I already wrote that. Okay. People are emotional about the tree. How about it reacts to ringing noises like bells and hammers? See, I like that stuff. It's like the vampiric, weird, like you can't, they can't see themselves in the reflection, or like, you know, Dracula being like a little bit offended when you show a cross, like just silly things like that. I love it. So let's do it. I like it. So reacts to ringing bells. Like I like the ringing bells. Bell weakness. It cannot maintain its camouflage when bells are ringing. A bell rung, that's a word, close to the tree forces it to uproot. The tuning of the bell messes with the psychic powers of the plant. So, we can go even further. Bells and bell ringings, bell ringings kill the spores in people's bodies. Okay, so now that we have that, what would be the emergent villager behavior? For example, we can say people don't eat food with utensils made out of silver or copper because they ring accidentally if touched together. You know, we can start like working on that a little bit. So what else would happen? Obviously, there are no bells. The church has its bell destroyed. Destroyed. What else would cause that same style of like wine glasses? There are no glasses. Blacksmith, but still a forge. Wind chimes. I just love the adventurers coming into town like, where are the wind chimes? Something is wrong here. Yeah, but a lot of people are not gonna have like silver in D&D, like especially in that town, like people don't have silver. You know what I mean? Like that's already kind of just like it wouldn't tip off adventurers. You know, like yeah, we could say that they hate people with armor. They hate adventurers with armor and metallic weapons. They ask with kindness to put their armor and weapons away. Because like villagers are not gonna have like, you know, like I just imagine this is like a faraway village by a forest, you know, like very simple folk. They don't need they would need a blacksmith, I guess. They might. Not anymore. But like people don't eat with like silver utensils. Like that's like what you find from like middle, like high income earners in the big cities. Like villagers are not gonna have silver. Villagers would have a hidden cellar somewhere in town with all their medals and bells. So the players could find the hidden cellar with like all of the metallic stuff. And yeah, no, that's a good point there too, Ezequiel. So we could have a weakness here. I don't know how to, so we could do like weakness. Just do like weakness to silver, which is a very grim, dark thing. You know, werewolves, vampires, weak to silver. It makes sense. Like I think it plays with the subject matter, which is good. Weakness to silver, or metal. You know, I mean, but like I don't know. Okay, yeah, maybe it's just all metal. But let's just make it specific to silver. Yeah. Yeah. It can choose a person and control it directly. No. I like the idea that it is more subtle. Like it's very, very subtle. And the people, everyone wants to, like, this is just like a communal thing where everyone just together started to degrade. But people want to go back to normal. Okay, now, we have the general idea. I really like this. Oh, weakness to thunder. All right, let's put it into weakness to silver and thunder damage. Okay, so we have the general idea for the monster. We have the name and everything. We know what it does. We know how it feeds. And we have a lot of just like very dynamic sort of roleplay heavy things that are going to happen as people sort of going town, adventurers going town, and what's going to happen basically. So that's all good. How about it being strangely sensitive to wizards and magic tools, and they become noticeably anxious around those in armor? Yeah. So the armor stuff is like they'll ask people to take off their armor like going in. And what I like about it is that it's very I like that idea, Chris. I mean, one sec. I like the idea because it makes sense. Like, hey, please don't bring any weapons in here, right? Like, we're peaceful. Like, that makes sense. Like, it wouldn't necessarily, like, there's a very normal thing for villagers to say. So that's great. I like the idea that the spores smell delicious. I love it. Dude, Chris, I think that's brilliant. The town has an odd, delicious smell. It just smells good. Like, dude, like, it's like people are just smelling their best, even though no one's bathing. Okay, there you go. So, anyways, we've got the creature. What CR should we make it? Because this is the thing, right? I don't want for this to be a charming thing. We're not doing a charm thing, right? It's sporing people because it draws from their vigor psychically, and it's deleting their memories because it needs to be really close. So like that's why it spores people. It's not sporing them to charm them. It cannot do that. When the players eventually find out what's going on, they realize that it is the tree that's doing this, and they choose to deal with it. It's going to be a battle, right? Now, this is going to be more than likely a group of 4 or 5 adventurers versus a single monster. So we have to make sure that a monster is at least, you know, it can defend itself against a full party because it's just going to be itself. And it is a psychic monster, so we're going to be dealing with a lot of psychic damage. Keep in mind that the adventurers are going to have spores in them, more than likely. So I like the idea that the tree will be able to psychically damage the players. Basically, like, very easily because they have already ingested the spore. So we need to keep that in mind. Let's just do okay. So a lot of people are saying 12. I see a lot of 12s. So we're probably going to end up with that. I mean, the town, I do think that it is okay for the townspeople to just be like, no, the tree. Like, they're very defensive about the tree, but these are villagers. The idea is that these are commoners, bakers. Like, they're not gonna be able to do anything, right? Like, imagine this. I'm a normal person, right? I see some fucking douchebag going around like, I'm gonna cut down your tree that you love. I'll be upset. I'm not gonna get. He has a weapon, right? Like I make pies. So the villagers aren't gonna fight back. They might get in the way, and the players are gonna have to deal with that from a roleplay perspective. But like, they're not gonna be combatants. Now you could create like different scenarios in which somehow this tree happens to invade an outpost, like an actual military outpost, or maybe something more nefarious like a monster den. And that's when you can start kind of just like, oh my god, you can start making some really creepy shit. But we'll make it a CR 12. We have to give it like resistance to. I'm gonna type in here like, oops. I fucked that up. Resistances. To psychic. Yeah. And I guess it's bludgeoning. No, it's piercing, right? Because plants have like whatever. I mean, we can worry about that. But I think all plants have piercing resistance. The tree shivers in fear if it's near an axe. Oof. Hello, AG Piggott. How you doing? Thank you for showing up. Okay. So, CR12. So let's figure out what we're looking at in terms of HP and stuff. So 12 is pretty high. That's going to be a 250 HP, which is great. Like, this is it's basically like a single monster like adventure. It's a boss for all intents and purposes. So that is perfectly fine by me. 250 HP. CR of 17 is okay, I guess. Yeah, 17. Alright. Yeah, it's already 17 there. Okay. Speed, it's gonna be very slow. So like a speed of 5, because it just takes time to uproot and it's just very slow, very heavy. I do like the idea that maybe it works a little bit like, maybe it's very analogous to the roper, but I don't know if I want to do that with the tentacles, because then it would feel like too much like a roper, and I don't know how I feel about that. How about the death of the tree produces a psychic charm protection fluid? I mean, we could make like a psychic like death throws. I think those are quite common. Yeah, no, it definitely needs to have like mind attacks for sure, like psychic damages. So we're gonna go super grand. So we're gonna have a direct psychic attack. And the idea being that, like, I'm gonna delete all of this. So it gets, is advantage too strong? I'm thinking that if you have the spore, it just attacks you easier, right? Like, I want for there to be a negative to you having the spore, but also not make it too strong, because it is more than likely everyone's gonna have the spores. You can make the argument that, like, if you forget, if when you realize what the weakness of the tree is, that it's weak to bells, then okay, you know, that's fine, because yeah, like if they figure out that they can use bells to destroy the spores, then you can presume that most adventurers are not gonna have the spores for the battle. So I feel a lot better just basically giving this guy advantage on attacks against spored enemies, especially because the spores are like in your brain, so they might kind of just like make you a little bit slower or whatever. There's definitely like a psychic vampiricness to it, so you might like see what you're thinking or whatever. The blood of the tree is great loot. It can give you potions of psychic resistance. Yes, that would be great. The villagers get an infectious bite. No, because we're not making the villagers like charmed, or I want for them to just be like an annoyance that the players have to deal with. Like, I like the idea that the villagers are grappling you. Like, you're trying to fight the tree and the villagers are like, no, we love this tree, you know, we have great memories. And they're just grappling you and restraining you, preventing you from like, they're getting in the way, so you have to spend like extra movement to like move out. Maybe the plant is like might try and kill villagers, and so you're like trying to save the villagers from themselves. Like, that's more the angle that I'm looking for. So we're gonna do one of its actions is going to yeah, I don't want the tree to be able to control them, so I'm not even adding an action for that. But we do want a direct psychic attack. The tree gets advantage on the psychic attack against the players. It just deals a lot of straight damage. Nothing too fancy here. We can have a big AoE. So imagine something like Mind Flayers, right? So a big AoE psychic attack. This would be a DC based saving throw. Intelligence, perhaps. Disadvantage is too strong, so I don't even know if I want to do that. But yeah, so just a DC based saving throw, big AoE attack. I feel like we're missing something. So I want for there to be like many... I don't want the plant to be too strong. I like the idea that the plant is like the underdog here, right? The plant is doing its best. It can only do so much. It can delete memories. It can absorb nutrients from the spores in people's bodies, but that's like that's it. Like the plant is like, that's all I can do. You know what I mean? Like I can't. I like the idea that the plant is just like really struggling, and so when I just imagine this scenario where the adventurers are fighting the plant monster, and the plant is losing, you know, and it's like pitiful. Like the plant can't do much, and the people are just like, you know. I don't want to make the plant be super formidable and go like, you are charmed and dominated or whatever. But I also want for the plant to get advantages from the people having spores and being able to do something and be able to defend itself in some way. So it is mostly a psychic, right, monster. What about like physical stuff? Being able to, because I do like the idea that it moves really slow. It can't just like run around, right? So like running is not going to be an option for the tree. Getting close to an enemy that is far is just not going to be an option for the tree. So I don't know if I necessarily even want to give them a lot of melee attacks. I think what would make this character interesting is that it's not slapping you, which is weird. But how would it look? Let's say that I like the use of some spells like Blur and Confusion. Dude, that's brilliant. So we can do that. So we can give it innate spells. So innate spell-like abilities. So we can do Confusion. We can do Blur. The tree starts like messing with your perception a little bit. Modify memory, obviously. Dream. Suggest? No, I don't want charm. I don't want charm. Bulbasaur use Razor Leaf. This is my concern now. So like, how would it look? Let's say the adventurers have figured out this tree is evil, but it looks like a tree, right? Because it's kind of, it just looks like a tree. And the adventurers grab their weapons. They start like slapping their weapons on the on their armor, and the tree starts like just kind of flinching, and it starts uncorking itself from the ground. And how does it look? Does it have a face? Does it have eyes? Because it is psychic, you can imagine that it doesn't necessarily need eyes. It might have like a blind sense type of approach. I don't want it to see from people's eyes either. I don't want it to speak. I want it to be more alien than that. I don't want it to be able to communicate with the players. I want it to be like a force of nature in that way, where the people are begging for you to not kill the tree. And it communicates not really through voice or mentally either. It's just like it might implant certain things into the people. So like the people themselves might have like weird memories of this ancient grove where the tree was born, but they don't know that. They might have memories of places they have never been, right? Because inherently the tree is giving them these memories of itself. And that's the only way that you can figure out the backstory of the plant. But I don't want the plant to say anything, or I want to keep it very detached. Town has an odd, delicious smell. That's my favorite piece of fact. The plant doesn't communicate. It might inadvertently add in pieces of itself and backstory into the memories of the villagers. They might know of places they have never been. So how does the tree look? Like, does the tree just like looks like a tree? Like it wouldn't have a face? Because even the roper has like a mouth that opens. So maybe we could do a mouth, but it doesn't feed through physical flesh. So it doesn't use a mouth. Looks like a brain, tentacles coming out of it. So would there be a brain inside of the bark? Like I think there would have to be a brain involved, right? Like I feel like we kind of have written ourselves into that corner. There would probably have to be like a fairly sizable like brain inside of the tree itself. So when you hit the tree, there might be like brain matter that comes out and it's like with sap. Would it be an aberration then? It would be an aberration, right? I don't know. Do we have to do something to make it more plant and less aberration? What if it has skin under bark? Ugh. Dude, please. What the fuck? That is so eerie. A mind leech is a leech. No, I don't want. I want the tree to be its own creature. So it's not just like another. Like it's like a parasite within the parasite. I mean, I guess it could still have a brain and just be a plant. It's definitely very aberratic for sure. Like it has a lot of aberratic things. So you break out the bark. You can see like brain stems going around. It's like a some kind of vertebra that moves from the bottom, goes all the way up. The tree still is a tree, right? So it still needs to root itself. It still gets like water and basic sustenance from the ground, but most of its sustenance it's gotten from like the actually stealing it from people. But it still needs to branch out, gets water and stuff from the roots. So you would have like a big stem that probably goes all across the body of the tree, spreads out like nerves all around the place. And then at the very top, the crown of the tree, you would have a brain inside, a fairly sizable like big brain, certainly bigger than like a human's. It would be like a little bit bigger. And you hit it, there might be some blood involved. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe no blood, just like brain matter that comes out. And then from the outside, I suppose it would just look like a tree, huh? Because it would kind of have to just look like a tree. It's trying to create a human baby, dude. Oh, a fetus inside of the tree, dude. That's... You guys are coming out with some, like, real messed up, like, ideas. I love it, but it's like, next level messed up. I can handle a normal level of messed up. It's like you open the tree and it's like... It was a pregnant tree. It's a baby inside. Oh, my God. Get out of here, dude. Fuck. Okay, so so far, you know, the plant is gonna look like a tree. It's going to look like a tree outside, but inside there is a brain and a stem. But outwardly, it basically looks like a tree. So when it's attacking, I would imagine it's like moving and creating like psychic attacks. We could make it like eerie, so like if you can see into the ethereal, you might be able to... Wow, that's... it fucked up a little bit there. So I can't write that much. If you can see into the ethereal, you might see... Ah. You see more. No, you see... you see more. Damn it. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna leave it there just so that I know that maybe I'll work something in there. Alright! So, we have the idea for the monster. I think it's pretty good. So far, we have created two sort of big, like, thematic creatures. And we have enough to at least accommodate 4 different stat blocks. So we have the plant succubus, which goes around and finds a big plant, big tree or plant monster and infests it. Then, and so we have her stat block. We have the plant, the big monstrous plant that is going to be sort of like the basic mutated form of the plant succubus plant. The big monster with crazy root abilities and all that stuff. We can create a stat block for a normal corrupted treant, and presumably, like, I would want to maybe add in rules for corrupting any kind of plant. So imagine, for example, a plant succubus corrupting a what's the name of that monster? A shambling mound, right? That would be cool. So how would a corrupted shambling mound look like under those parameters? Like, that would be really fun to have. So basically just creating a rule set so that you can use any plant monster and just kind of add in certain abilities. So that would be dope. So we have 3 character sheets from that, or monster sheets. And then the Mind Leech. So that is all good too. Because we're kind of running out of time here. This is as much as we'll be able to do. Now, do you guys have an idea for... Because I love I love the name Mind Leech. We could probably go with it, I think. So let's think. What would be alternate names? Just so that I can have a list of names that we could use. It would be fine if we could find like 3 really good names, so that I can just pick the best one to go on the book. Dude, I can't wait for these like things to just be like for a professional artist to make art for these things. It'll be like the Mind Leech might not look that cool because it looks like a tree. So I'll have to figure something out for that. Because the art would literally just be a tree. That just seems kind of silly. The Neurostalk. Brain Birch. Oh, dude, that's sick. Brain Birch. Mind Spore. Talk Stock. Just puns. Nature's Memory. Sounds like a spell. Mind Oak. Wit Stealer. Dude, you guys are good at the puns. I love it. Wilt Stealer. I'm not good at puns. Mind Oak. Let me type that in. Just like Mind Oak. We'll have that in there. Lobotomy Leech. Brain Bark. Mind Berry Tree. Mind Maples. Tree of Memories. The Weeping Psionic Sapper. With Weevil. Bloodvine. Bloodvine is sounds good, but doesn't fit. I don't want to do garden, anything garden, because I think I'm gonna use that for the succubus, because I'm thinking of like calling her something like the Corpse Gardener or something like that. I don't know. Evil potato creator. Briar leech. I think something like leech is good. Whew. Implanter, Tree of Sorrow, Weeping Holeach, Mind Roots, Intellect Tree. Hey, Intellect Tree is like you go for the Mind Flayer kind of vibe. The Liching Willow. Dude, that sounds dope. Liching Willow. Because it does have like a Grim Hollow vibe too. The Liching Willow. Oh, maybe we'll go with that, dude. Maybe you... I think you got it, dude. Clockwork Eternal. I think you got it. I don't know if someone else suggested it before, but... The Liching Willow. I love it. No, I love it. Alright, you know, we're going with this. I love it. The Liching Willow. We might give it... That's fine. I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm keeping it. We're good. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. And I do have a lot of work cut out for me to like just kind of fix this, set up the damages and all that stuff. Having the CR is good for me because I can figure out like the plus to hit, the save DCs, how much damage you're supposed to do every round, you know what I mean? Like I can... Figuring that out is not going to be that difficult. Cerebral Arbor. The Evertree. You guys are good at this. Wish I was that good. Alright, so we're going to print this. Uh-oh. Oh no, my Acrobat trial has expired. Let's see. How do I save this? Well, it says saved, so that's good. Uh-oh. I really don't want to lose this. Losing all of this work. It says save, but I don't know how this website works, so I wanna just make sure that I have it like as an actual PDF because I'm gonna do a print screen just in case because I am actually scared I would just lose this. So now we're gonna have to figure out a good name for the succubus because we didn't do that. And you guys are actually legit really good at this, so I need to make sure that I take advantage of you guys while I can. So let's see. I'm gonna put it. Where am I gonna put this? Plasmos, just wanted to say that you have helped me with so much lore in building my own campaigns. Thank you for your content and your wonderful voice. You raised the D&D community to new heights. Thank you so much, Plasmos, for the super chat. That is extremely kind of you to say, dude. I appreciate it so much. Thank you very much. Let's do... one second, okay. This is the Liching Willow, just saving all this stuff. Okay. Okay, so currently I have, for the succubus, I have plant succubus and I have simp plant is what we have. So we need a name for the succubus. So I was thinking the succubus could have her own name, but then the actual plant monster that I'm going to create to go along with it, I wanted to have something related to the corpse garden, right? Like, 'cause that's the big thing. When the players find the monster, it's like they see the corpses, the garden of corpses. And I want the art to basically reflect that as well. So for the plant, how can we put it into the name? The corrupting garden or the like, because it's weird, right? Because like imagine this would be the type of name that a villager or a group of villagers would give it to the monster. Like, oh yeah, like that's one of them corpse makers, you know, I don't know. Well, corpse flower, I believe, is literally already a monster. So I don't know if I can do that. Corrupting garden, garden reaper, a fallen dryad, the grove tender. I'm gonna write that. Oh, I'm gonna write this. So all this idea is the grove tender, the garden of flat. Nah, cause. So this is the name for the plant, right? So this plant is taking nutrients from the corpses that the dryad. We're not naming the dryad yet. The dryad, we're gonna take some time to name her later. So the plant itself that the dryad has now corrupted into a thing. So imagine this being like a big forest. She has like corrupted the biggest tree and then just grabbed a bunch of trees, almost put them together into this amalgamation of like branches and shit. And then this tree uses the garden as sustenance. The Vile Absorber, or the Garden of Agony. It's gonna be rough to have the name Garden. I wanted to, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Grove Garden. It's rough, right? Because a lot of these options that you guys are giving me, like the Grave Garden, the Grove Keeper, these would work for the actual succubus, not for the plant. And this is like a single, it doesn't have to be a single plant, but like, you know, maybe a collection of them. Draining Samsara. Thank you, Luke, for the emoji. What about something like, because I would imagine that it would look to a person walking in, it might even look to them as a scarecrows. So maybe something with scarecrows. Like people just kind of like in weird positions and, you know what I mean? The Fetid Grove, Carrion Grove, the Carcass Tender, Lost Garden, Death Flota, the Desecrated Grove, Crypt Garden Weeds. Oh, man. I don't know. This one's rough. Because maybe it's just best not to use the term grove at all. It just doesn't flow well. Yeah, it's not, I don't know. It's not working. I'll have to figure something out. That one's rough. Maybe I have to look at it from a different perspective. Just not use the term grove or garden or anything like that. Okay, and what about the dryad? Do you guys have any ideas for the dryad? Because she's a lot easier. Because we could literally be like... It could be something as simple as like the corruptor, or, you know, I don't know what it would be like, but... Yeah, I mean, they're all... There's a lot of them that are good, but I don't know if they fit. The Karen, the corrupted, the Grave Gardener, Crimson Grove Mother could be really good. Let me write that down. Grove Mother. Might use that actually. Romilda, the Bouquet of Death, Orchard of Decay, Carrion Queen, the Vile Gardener. Vile Gardener, I like that one too. Gardener, that's good. The Anti-Druid, Poison Ivy. All right, guys. The The sorrow mistress. We never ended up like working out if she's like a succubus. Like she probably wouldn't look pretty to a human, I would imagine. Okay, grandfather oak. Doesn't quite fit very well. All right, no, I think we got some good ones. I think we got it. I think we're gonna use. I have grove tender, grove mother. I particularly like, or the vile gardener. So we're gonna use any of those. But all right, guys, that's basically gonna be the end of the stream. I just wanted to use you guys a bit to create some monsters. We have managed to do that. Once again, just let you guys know that just letting you guys know that the Kickstarter for the Grim Hollow Monster Grimoire is on Kickstarter right now. The link is in the description, so if you basically want to see some of these monsters come to life with professionally made art, all of them basically done with everything that we have talked about today and all the lore that I'm going to write for them, then make sure to go ahead and support the Kickstarter. Get yourself a nice PDF or a book from there. They're doing really great, so you know, these guys do really good work. I'm a big fan of the campaign setting. Love it. I use their transformations all the time, and I personally am gonna get the player's guide when it comes out because I think it has like more of the same, just transformations, subclasses, all that stuff. Like these people do really good work. So big recommend on my part. The link on the Kickstarter is in the description, so make sure to go over and support them. But thank you guys so much. You guys were extremely helpful. It's just so fun to have like a bunch of people to just kind of just bounce ideas back and forth. I'm already getting a little bit like tired because we kind of went in too deep there. The Beast of Deduction. I have to figure out a good name for the plant monster. I'm not sure what angle to do there, but thank you guys so much for the support. I mean, you guys, there was a lot of super chats, a lot of donations. You guys were very, very generous, so I really do appreciate you guys a lot. I want you all to know that we have a video coming out on Monday. It's already done, it's already edited and scheduled for upload. I think you guys are really gonna like it, so look forward to that. We're gonna be doing a lot more streams throughout the next couple of weeks. I've been really enjoying this, so I'll just keep doing it. We're gonna keep on playing Pathfinder. I'm actually working really hard to get I've been in talks with I probably shouldn't say I've been in talks with the brand like marketing manager for D&D to get you guys some codes for Dark Alliance, and it seems like I'm getting maybe 8, maybe 12 codes that I can give out for you guys. I'm working some of the details with them, but hopefully I can get you guys some stuff. I'm also trying to see if I can get you guys codes for the new Pathfinder game, the video game coming out, Wrath of the Righteous, which should be a lot of fun, so that'll be great if I can get you guys some stuff there. Doing my best here. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. That's gonna be it. Thank you guys for showing up. Oh, and I'll see you guys on Monday. I think I'll be streaming some Monday. We'll see. I love the name, the Liching Willow. That's a good one. Thank you for being here, Britain. Thank you for showing up, AG Pickett. Appreciate you. Nice seeing you. Ulfgar, Jeremy. What am I gonna do now? I've already finished my video this week. Finished the stream. I wanted to level up a shaman, or possibly level up a shaman for Burning Crusade, but there's not gonna be any time now. They're doing the World of Warcraft pre-patch for Burning Crusade on the 18th, and then Burning Crusade comes out like 12 days later. There's just no time. So, not leveling, I guess. So, I'm not gonna make it in time, so I don't know what to do. Alright, I'll figure something out. Probably go eat. I'm starving. Once again, bye guys. See you all later.